How can you make an impact when you address your audience? Hi folks, I'm Alan Akamba. I'm a petroleum engineer. As an energy engineer, as an energy professional, or as a professional in any industry, you may be asked to talk to people, to make an address. Or to my fellow Toastmasters, you may have to give a speech. I want to share with you 2 tips that can help you make an impact to your audience. This is the first series, the first of 3 series of short talks on how to address and make an impact to your audience. So the first thing is think about the audience, and next, the message. Let me start with the audience. A few years ago, I was asked to give an address at my high school, my alma mater, and talk to them about life, about what they can do after they graduate. So I thought to myself, these guys are high school students. So I decided to tell them about the profession of a drilling engineer because I thought they might consider it as a profession later in their lives. So I worked as a petroleum engineer. I started my career in Scotland, and I showed them some pictures about some of my jobs. I told them about how safety is important in the profession of a drilling engineer. And at the end of the presentation, they asked questions about where they can work, for example, how they can apply for a job, and related questions. Now, your address could be not in front of high school students. You may be talking, for example, to startup owners. You are not going to tell them about the career they want to choose. That's not what they might be interested in. If you're talking to startup owners, you might decide to tell them about how they can find funding for their startups. Who can be an investor, how they can access capital. So my point is, you want to know exactly who your audience will be. Are they going to be high school students, parents, business owners? Because once you identify your audience, that takes me to the second tip that will help you choose the appropriate message. As I said, I spoke to high school students, and my message to them was, consider this profession as one you might choose in the future. That was very relevant to them. So once you know your audience, that will help you choose a relevant message. Similarly, if you are going to talk to a group of startup owners, an appropriate message can be, how can you get capital expenditure, CapEx? How can you get funding to sponsor your investment? So in summary, the first 2 things you should keep in mind as you're making your address, if you want to make an impact on your audience, is number 1, know exactly who is going to be your audience. And number 2, once you know your audience, choose a relevant message. Always ask yourself, how is my presentation going to help them? Now, thank you for listening, and don't miss my second talk, which will take you in which I will discuss the next 2 tips that you should bear in mind when you make an address, because you want to make an impact on your audience. See you there.